The president entering now the Cincinnati Museum Center. 500 or so invited guests there. The President of the United States.
Thank you all. Terror. Terrorist. Terrorism. Terror. 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 Terrorist. 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 Terror organization. Terrorist attacks. Terror. Terrorism. Terrorist network. Terrorist attacks. Terrorist group. Terrorists. Terrorist. Terror. Terror. Terrorist. Terrorist. Terrorists. Instruments of terror. Terror network. Terror cells. Terrorists. Terrorizing terror and murder. Terrorism. Terrorists or terrorists, a tool of terror and torture. Iraq. Iraqi, Iraq, Iraqi, Iraq, Iraqi, Dick, Iraq, 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 with Iraq, Iraqi, Iraq, 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 Iraqian, Iraq, 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 Iraqi, Iraq, Iraqi, Iraq, 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 Iraqi, Iraq, Iraqi people, Iraq, Iraqi, Iraq, the Iraqi, Iraq, 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 Iraq. Weapons of terror, terrible weapons. Weapons of mass destruction, chemical weapons, weapons of mass destruction. Dangerous weapons, even more dangerous weapons. Biological weapons, chemical agents, chemical weapons. Chemical attacks, chemical and biological weapons. Chemical and biological weapons. Ballistic missiles, chemical or biological weapons. Chemical or biological attack, chemical and biological attacks. Poisons, deadly gases. Biological or chemical weapon, instruments of terror. The instruments of mass death, weapons of mass destruction. Nuclear weapon, nuclear weapon, nuclear weapon, nuclear weapons, nuclear weapon. Bomb. Nuclear weapons, nuclear program, nuclear weapons program. Nuclear scientists, nuclear holy warriors. Nuclear program, nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapon, nuclear technology, biological, chemical, or a nuclear weapon. Thanks for coming. September the 11th. September the 11th. September the 11th.
September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. September 11th.
September 11th. September 11th.
September 11th. September 11th.
September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. September 11th.
September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. September 11th. 2001. Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam. Saddam. Saddam.
Saddam.
Saddam. Saddam. Saddam.
Saddam. Saddam. Saddam.
Saddam.
Saddam Hussein.
War and danger.
Continuing danger.
Hour of danger.
Very, very dangerous world.
A grave new threat.
Horrific acts of atrocities, murders, regimes dedicating to killing us, tyranny and terror, slaughtered thousands.
Weapons of mass destruction.
Weapons of mass destruction, weapons programs,
The deadliest of weapons.
Terrible weapons.
nuclear weapons,
Nuclear weapons.
Poison gas.
Torture chambers.
mass graves,
Deadly technology.
radical ideology of hate,
Terror of threats.
terror,
Terror.
terror, war on terrorism,
War against terrorism.
Global war on terror.
global terrorism, global terrorism, global terrorism.